Home of the Brave, Day 3. Before we get started, we need to make sure our reader's journal is ready. So either skip the next line on your page and write Day 3, or go to the next clean page and write Day 3. In the margin, that's the left of the red line, write 9-21 because that's today's date. Today, we're going to be doing a lot of reading, and we're not going to be stopping a whole lot. We're just going to be listening to the story. There are a few times that we will stop, but the stops that we have today will be longer writing opportunities. Sleep story. I am on the flying boat, and so is Dave and Mama and Father and Luau. People from my village are there, and many cows, and a camel, and a gazelle. Airplane, Dave says. Try to say it, Keck. But when my mouth opens, the only thing that comes out are little white puffs, cloud after cloud. You must try harder, Luau says, and I give him my best scowl. He laughs, and then the round windows open, and guns are there, and hating words, and I'm screaming empty white clouds of fear, when at last it's quiet. The seats of Luau and my father and all the other men from my village are empty. They're gone, I tell Mama. They're dead. And she takes my hand. When we step outside, it isn't sky we see, but endless barren land, dotted with dead trees. Mile after mile, day after day, tier after tier, we travel. To a place of tents and women and children. Here in the camp, we are safe, she says. The men with guns will not come. My feet are blistered, and her dress of blue and yellow is stained with blood. And all around us, snow falls, and my eyes burn with the sight of it. Part 2. You only make a bridge where there is a river. African Proverbs. Paperwork. Dave comes for me the next day. He has snow in his eyebrows. We drive in the red rattling car to a new place, Refugee Resettlement Center, Dave calls it. It's warm there, with many chairs and many more people, all colors and shapes. It's my job to answer a bored lady's questions. Her fingers bounce on a machine with many buttons while she stares at a bright box. Her fingernails are shiny red, the color of blood. And I feel sorry for her bad fortune. At first I'm afraid to speak. It's okay, Keck, Dave says. It's called paperwork. You can't make a wrong answer here. The bored lady asks her questions again, and this time I answer. Soon I grow sleepy, and after a while her words begin to fall like raindrops on the floor. I try to understand, but all I hear is a river of words, rushing and thundering and pushing me beneath the surface. Now and then a word I know darts up like a sparkling fish, but then it's all dark, moving water again. We're there a long time. I don't think I like this America paperwork, I whisper to Dave. It makes for too many yawnings. Information. Dave leads me to another room. A woman sits behind a pile of papers, tall as a termite mound. Is this Keck by any chance? She asks Dave. One and only, he says. Keck, meet Diane. Diane stands and shakes my hand. She isn't much taller than I am, but her grip is strong, and she meets my gaze with eyes that say she is a friend. We've been trying to get more information on your mom, Keck. Diane says. Here's what we've got. She hands many papers to Dave. My hope flutters high, like a bird I cannot catch. I ready my heart for the words I need to hear. Found her. Good news. Coming here. Those are the words Diane must say. Those are the stars that will guide my path home. This is a very difficult process. This is a very difficult process, I'm afraid, Diane says. Refugees in that area move frequently, and tracking someone down can be almost impossible. We've sent out an inquiry about 2 camps on the border. Diane pauses. I wait to hear the words, to see the stars. After your camp was attacked, some people made it to the places we're contacting. I don't want you to get your hopes up, Keck. We'll know more in a while. Diane looks at some papers. Dave looks at his shoes. I'm still hoping, I say at last. I want to sound fierce and certain as a great lion, but I sound like a lost cub, even to my own ears. Of course you are, Diane says. We all are. Thank you for looking, I say. Diane nods. You're very welcome. I'll be in touch with Dave as soon as we hear anything. We head outside. The icy air kicks at my chest. We walk to Dave's car in silence. Only the snow talks. We climb in. Seatbelt, Dave says softly. I'm glad he doesn't ask how I'm feeling. I don't know whether I feel hope or fear. Dave pushes a knob, and the music box sings. The song races ahead while I stumble behind. Just one more thing I cannot know. School clothes. That night, I try on the school clothes in the box Dave has brought for me. I pick a button shirt with flowers on it and soft red pants. But Ganwar rolls his eyes. Those are pajamas, he says. You wear them when you sleep. I try again. Ganwar shakes his head. The kids will eat you alive, he says. This is bad news, since I didn't know that America people like to eat each other. Ganwar must see the fear in my eyes, because he explains. It means they'll beat you up. Oh, I say, I feel relieved. You mean like at camp? I'm not much of a fighter, not like my brother and my father and my cousin. I'm used to losing fights. It isn't so bad if you cover your face and other important places. Ganwar finds a pair of hard blue pants and a shirt the color of sand. Jeans, he says. T-shirt. I put them on and parade through the TV room like a great ruler. Ganwar groans. It's just school, Keck. My aunt hushes him. Let him have his fun, she scolds. In the bathing room, I look hard in the shiny glass. I wonder if I look like an America boy. I'm not sure if that would be a good thing or a not good thing. Once there was. The next morning, I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm excited, yes, because to go to school and learn is a fine honor. But I'm worried also. I don't know so many things. I don't even know what I don't know. My belly leaps like a monkey on a tree. In the camp, we had a teacher. Some days, yes. Some days, no. Some days, I was too ill with the fever to go. Some days, the teacher couldn't come because the men with guns. But on the good days, the teacher might arrive. With a piece of chalk and maybe even a book. Mostly he would help us learn English words, so we would be ready to leave the camp someday. But sometimes there would be singing or a story or numbers on our fingers and toes to count. I liked the stories the best. Once there was a lion who could not roar. Once there was a man who sailed the sea. Once there was a child who found a treasure. The stories would lift me up, the words like a breeze beneath butterfly wings, and take me far from the pain in my belly and the tight knot of my heart. I hope they will have stories at my school If they don't know how, perhaps I can teach them. It isn't such a hard thing. All you must do is say, "Once there was," and then let your hoping find the words. We're going to pause here. Keck, as we wrote earlier today when we did our timeline of events happening, we wrote down optimism or optimistic. And Keck is a very optimistic kid. He always is able to find the light in things. I want you to think about all the ways Keck has been optimistic. So we're going to write about how Keck is showing optimism. Use text evidence. That means write examples from what you heard in the text. And then explain your thinking. We don't want to just write it and leave it, but explain what you're thinking. Why is that showing optimism? If you need a sentence starter, here's a sentence starter you can use. Keck is showing optimism when I know this because. Take some time, pause the video, and write down the moments when Keck is showing optimism. When you're finished, you can press play to continue. Now that you've taken some time to come up with your own ideas on how Keck is showing optimism, I wanted to show you just a few ideas. There are many moments in the book that show Keck being optimistic. Here are just a couple ideas of what you could write if you needed some more ideas. Keck is showing optimism when he says, "I'm still hoping," to Diane. I know this because everyone else in the story has said it's unlikely that Keck will find his mom again. But Keck continues to hold hope for finding her. He also shows optimism when he's trying on school clothes. I know this because Ganwar keeps telling him his outfits won't work. Keck keeps trying. Once he finds an outfit that works, he parades around the TV room feeling proud. Lastly, Keck is optimistic when talking about school at the refugee camp. The school wasn't always great, and the teacher didn't always show up, but Keck focused on the positives and found joy in the opportunity. He especially liked the storytelling. So those are just a couple opportunities that you could have talked about optimism in Keck.